The New York Knicks just broke the NBA, while Leon Rose sits back and auctions off draft picks to tune his championship rotation. The rest of the league is hitting the panic button. Boston is desperately trying to land Giannis, the Nets are praying for a Knicks collapse, and the Thunder might literally trade Chet Holmgren just to survive the luxury tax. Let's break down the madness. Are the Boston Celtics about to hit the ultimate panic button just to keep up with the New York Knicks? We've got a massive, landscape-shifting three-team blockbuster trade gaining serious momentum that would send Giannis Antetokounmpo to Boston, Jaylen Brown to Los Angeles, and flip the Eastern Conference entirely upside down. If you remember from our last update, the Miami Heat were desperately trying to put together a package for the Greek Freak, centered around Tyler Herro and Kel'el Ware, but Pat Riley realized that wasn't going to move the needle against the Knicks' elite wing defense, forcing Miami to pivot to Trae Young instead. Because Miami bowed out, Boston has now sprinted to the front of the line. The Celtics watched the Knicks hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy in 2026 and realized their current roster just isn't enough. So what's the cost of doing business? Boston would have to gut their loaded second unit, packaging guys like Peyton Pritchard and Derek White, while also shipping out superstar Jaylen Brown, who is coming off a career year. But here is where the tactical tension reaches a boiling point. Milwaukee isn't just going to hand over their franchise cornerstone for a handful of rotation players. They are heading into a full rebuild. That is exactly why the Los Angeles Clippers are being dragged into this. The Clippers hold the 5th overall pick in the upcoming NBA draft, and draft capital is the golden ticket here. In this proposed scenario, Jaylen Brown heads out west to pair up with Kawhi Leonard in LA, giving the Clippers a desperate last-ditch lifeline to save their championship window. Meanwhile, the Bucks accelerate their rebuild by absorbing the 5th overall pick, plus an influx of young talent from both LA and Boston. Let's look at the hard facts. Giannis would be teaming up with Jason Tatum in Boston to create a terrifying front-court powerhouse designed specifically to bully the Knicks in the paint. But honestly, I look at this trade and I see pure desperation. The Knicks showed us last season that mortgaging your entire future for one aging superstar is a massive risk. Remember how New York smartly avoided overpaying for Donovan Mitchell or Giannis himself, keeping their war chest full so they could acquire perfect complementary pieces like OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. Boston is doing the exact opposite. They are sacrificing their depth, trading away their elite two-way wing in Jaylen Brown, and praying that Giannis and Tatum can somehow figure out the spacing. It might make the Celtics the winner of the trade on paper in the short term, but basketball isn't played on paper. And speaking of the Knicks' brilliant, patient master plan that won them a ring, it brings up a fascinating question about the team that actually helped them get there. Is it mathematically possible for a team to win the trade when the other team literally used that exact trade to win an NBA championship? 2 years ago, the Brooklyn Nets sent Mikal Bridges across the river to the New York Knicks for 5 first-round picks and an unprotected pick swap. The Knicks got their ring, but the Nets are playing a terrifying game of 4D chess. Let's rewind for a second. We already know the Knicks front office executed a masterclass in roster building. By holding off on trading for stars like Donovan Mitchell, they kept their powder dry to land the perfect Villanova puzzle piece in Mikal Bridges. Bridges wasn't built to be a #1 option in Brooklyn, but as a hyper-elite floor spacer and perimeter defender in New York, he helped secure a title. Case closed. Knicks win the trade, right? Well, not so fast. The Brooklyn front office is looking at the new CBA's luxury tax rules, and they are drooling. The Nets have already drafted Nolan Traore, who's showing flashes of being a high-level two-way rotation player, and Ben Sheriff. But the real drama lies in the ticking bomb of the second apron. The Nets own the Knicks' unprotected picks in 2027, 2029, and 2031. By the time 2029 rolls around, the Knicks' core of Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges will all be pushing their mid-30s. Right now, the Knicks are sitting $8 million under the tax and are gearing up to blow past the apron to re-sign Mitchell Robinson, ensuring their rim protection stays elite. but doing that makes them repeat tax offenders down the line. If Brunson demands a massive new Supermax deal, the front office might physically be unable to keep this roster together without getting slammed by second apron penalties. This is my honest take. Brooklyn is acting like a vulture circling the desert. They are banking on the Knicks aging out and collapsing under the weight of their own payroll by 2029. If New York falls apart, those unprotected picks turn into gold, giving the Nets the ammo to draft a franchise-changing superstar, or flip those picks for a disgruntled superstar looking for a new home. But let's be real, flags fly forever. The Knicks got their championship. You make that trade 100 times out of 100. And while the Nets are dreaming about what might happen in 2031, Leon Rose is firmly focused on repeating in 2027, and he's already working the phones to make another splash right now. Why would the defending NBA champions be the most aggressive team entering the 2026 NBA draft? According to insider Jake Fisher, Knicks president Leon Rose is planning a surprise move, aggressively shopping one of New York's 2 draft selections as the front office looks to ruthlessly optimize this title-winning roster. To understand why this is happening now, you have to look at the mandate from the top. We already broke down how the Knicks are preparing to blow past the luxury tax apron to secure unrestricted free agent Mitchell Robinson. The front office has zero interest in taking a step backward or developing raw lottery projects. They are in pure repeat mode. The Knicks currently hold the number 24 overall pick in the first round and the number 31 overall pick in the second. Rival front offices are specifically monitoring that 31st pick like hawks. Here is where the front office warfare begins. Last June, that exact number 31 slot, the very first pick of the second round, triggered a massive overnight bidding war. Because second-rounders don't carry the same guaranteed cap hits as first-rounders, it is one of the most valuable trade assets for teams trying to dodge the CBA's restrictive luxury tax aprons. Phoenix literally sent Minnesota multiple future second-rounders just for the right to draft Rasheer Fleming at that spot last year. Now, Leon Rose holds that exact same leverage. At the same time, the Knicks have zeroed in on a specific target, Sergio de Larrea, a high-IQ Spanish guard. But there is a massive obstacle. Minnesota's Tim Connolly is also obsessed with de Larrea, meaning the Knicks might have to get creative to leapfrog the Timberwolves. My read on this? Leon Rose is playing it perfectly. When you are the champs, you don't need a 19-year-old rookie riding the pine. You need playoff-tested rotation players or future assets that give you trade flexibility down the line. If Rose can ignite a bidding war for the 31st pick and fleece a desperate team trying to shed salary, it just extends the Knicks' dominance. The Celtics and Nuggets are already trying to move up the board, but the Knicks hold the cards. New York is casually tuning a championship engine, while out in the Western Conference, contenders are literally tearing their rosters apart to survive. Could the Oklahoma City Thunder really trade away their 7-foot unicorn just to escape salary cap hell? Following a brutal 7-game exit against the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, a shocking new trade proposal has the Thunder shipping away Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Joe to the Los Angeles Clippers in exchange for 2-time Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard. Let's look at the harsh reality that brought OKC to this ledge. The Thunder are no longer the defending champions, having handed that crown over to the Knicks, and while New York proved they had the front court muscle with Karl-Anthony Towns to neutralize Victor Wembanyama in the finals, the Thunder got completely exposed. Holmgren's shooting fell off a cliff against the Spurs, and he was bullied in the paint by Wemby. To make matters worse, OKC is staring down the barrel of a terrifying cap crunch. If they run it back, Holmgren's massive new extension kicks in, instantly pushing the Thunder past the second apron and making them the most expensive roster in NBA history. This creates a high-stakes standoff. The Clippers, as we discussed earlier, are desperate. If they land Jaylen Brown in that Giannis mega deal, pairing him with a young elite rim protector like Holmgren instantly reboots their franchise. For the Thunder, bringing in Kawhi Leonard gives them the battle-tested half-court killer they lacked against San Antonio, but Kawhi's knee issues make this a terrifying gamble. If you are OKC GM Sam Presti, do you really mortgage a decade of Holmgren's potential just to trim the cap sheet and rent Kawhi's knees for 2 playoff runs? Here's the honest take. This trade proposal from Bleacher Report is pure insanity, but it highlights a very real problem. The Thunder cannot afford their current roster, and Luguentz Dort or Holmgren might actually have to be sacrificed to the CBA gods. But trading a 24-year-old rim-protecting floor spacer for a 34-year-old injury-prone Kawhi Leonard is a fireable offense. OKC had one of the best playoff offenses specifically because of what Holmgren does at the rim. They need to find a way to get bigger and tougher to beat the Spurs, not older and more fragile. It just goes to show how brilliant the Knicks front office was to build a sustainable, physical roster that can actually afford its stars without hitting the panic button.